5 underrated habits to get lean, starting at 30% body fat. I've seen transformations like these happen as short as 90 days and as long as 7 months. And these 5 habits that I'm going to share with you in this video was crucial every single time. Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Diamonds. I'm a scientist with a degree in biochemistry and microbiology. I'm a medical doctor and the founder of Standardise Science. We help our clients live longer, move faster, and to stay younger. My client Sandra didn't achieve her dream physique through one specific diet. She actually had a cheat meal every weekend while losing 50 pounds by following these 5 habits. Nicholas lost over 30 pounds in 16 weeks and finally saw his abs thanks to the habits we implemented at Standardise Science. The same goes for Dominic, and even look at the couple I recently interviewed on my channel, Don and Kathy. They achieved their dream physique in their 50s while running their business. So recently, I read 2 major books that had an influence on me, Atomic Habits and Start With Why. In short, both books are incredible. They inspired me to make this video where I'm going to share with you the 5 atomic habits to get lean. Every man and woman should see their abs at least once in their life. And it's not going to be by overdoing cardio or starving yourself. It'll be by creating small atomic habits that become a religion, a new way of life. These habits I'm about to share with you is the culmination and the decade of my experience. Let's cut the fluff, let's not waste time, and by the way, habit 5, in my opinion, by far is the most important. Habit number 1, James Clear said, the more disciplined your environment is, the less disciplined you need to be. Don't swim upstream. There are a few key areas where our surroundings and environment can shape our habits. Number 1, our social environment. The social environment refers to the people around us. Our families, our friends, colleagues, the society at large. And there was this study by Christakis and Fowler that was published by the New England Journal of Medicine in 2007, explored how social networks influence obesity. So they evaluated a densely interconnected social network of 12,000 people, and they repeatedly did this from 1971 to 2003. They found that if a person becomes obese, the chances that their friends will also become obese increases by approximately 57%. So if one of your friends becomes fat, there's a 50% chance that you'll become fat too. And if a sibling became obese, the chance that the other would become obese increased by 40%. So this is an eye-opening perspective because it shows you that obesity is just not this individual issue related to personal choices or genetics, but it's a social issue and it's influenced by our connection with others. And this also indicates that dietary habits, exercise patterns can be socially contagious. Number 2, digital environment. According to a 2017 study, reports on the modern food trends among Australians, there's some key findings and interesting trends. They found that 81% of people believe their diet has changed over the last 5 years. So majority of people changed their diet over the last 5 years. 57% of respondents claimed that they're trying to make healthier food choices than before. When they were asked what drove these changes, 47% of the individuals said that they learned what to eat from online articles, and 39% said social media influenced their current eating habits, and 65% of Australians tends to purchase food that are part of new food trends. So how can we adjust? Number 1, change your environment completely. When I go to the grocery store, I don't buy any foods that will lead me into any temptation. I don't buy any more Oreos. There's no foods that aren't going to impact my diet. I don't store anything in the pantry, and it starts with the habits of grocery shopping. The second thing I do is in terms of social behavior, and this is a bit more harsh, but I cut off all my friends who had poor influences on me. Called up, hey Mike, do you want to come and hang out on the weekend? Do you want to go on a bar? Click. Hung up the phone. I stopped hanging out with a lot of people and I lost a lot of friends, but I also extended my lifespan. I unfollowed everyone that was just always sharing the different foods that they were eating, things that weren't beneficial to my life, and you have control over this on social media. I also stopped watching channels that were just showing different foods that were unhealthy, and also where I was getting my information from, I narrowed it down to about 3 to 4 people that I truly trusted. So Number 1, go around people that are going to the gym, be around people that have an active lifestyle that love walking. Set up your environment. Don't just have cookies laying around, rather have an apple. Set up a motivational water bottle in your home so that you can make sure that you're going to drink enough water. There are different things you can set up in your environment to be conducive for you to be able to get into the shape of your life. The second thing I've also done with all my clients is I always tell them to get a walking pad. Just a normal treadmill where they can walk at home, and this will always inspire them and their family members to get steps. Again, environment is the invisible hand that will shape your behavior. Before I go into habit number 2, let me know in the comment section down below, what are the 5 habits that was important to you, and do you guys agree with the 2 habits and how did that impact you? It's important that you share your story because some people will take my word for it, some won't. But if there's overwhelming agreement or disagreement with me in the comment section down below, that may just push the one person to change their life forever by that 1% degree. Let me know in the comments how these habits have helped you or not. Habit number 2, imitation. Humans are imitation machines, and they're imitated by 3 main people. The close, what are your friends and family doing? The many, what is the crowd doing? And number 3, the powerful, what are those with status doing? So we always follow a herd mentality. Humans are always looking to be led. So in terms of the people you look up to, ask yourself, do they represent a physique or do they represent a lifestyle that you want to have for yourself? So in terms of your family members, it is very important that everyone in your family, and for you to convince everyone in your family to embark on a journey with you to get in shape. It's important that you all embark on a journey together so that this can be an easier transformation and you guys can all hold each other accountable. In terms of the most influential people, depending on who you follow, that's really going to influence what you do. Are you following people who are going to the gym? Are you seeing people going into workouts? If you look at the people I follow on Instagram, they all inspire me to a certain degree. And in terms of the people who are powerful, the people I look up to, they should also have a commanding physique. Unfortunately, that's just how I judge someone's discipline. Are they in shape or are they not in shape? And those are the people that I want to imitate. So a lot of the people I look up to mainly are athletes. So make sure that the people you're looking up to are the ones representing something that you want to be yourself. Being able to look in the mirror and confidently say, this is who I want to be. So a quick recap. Make sure that the people around you, the people you're following, and the people you look up to are all going in a direction that you want to go. And sometimes you need to be able to make that difficult decision. With a lot of my clients, before they work with me, I always ask, is your partner on board with this transformation? And something I've seen myself, and we're starting to do this more and more, is actually having partners join the program together because the likelihood of success is so much more. My wife, for the first time this year, is in the shape of her life, and I'm more inspired when I see her hit a new low weigh-in, or when I see her walking on the walking pad. I'm like, you know what, let me get on that thing too. So having people around you and having your partner or having your best friends all go on this journey with you is so important. Habit number 3, temptation bundling. Temptation bundling is a strategy where you pair something you need to do, like cardio, which provides this delay reward, with something you want to do, like watching Netflix, which provides this instant satisfaction. Essentially, this strategy is rooted in behavioral psychology and our inclination towards immediate satisfaction. The enjoyable activity offers you this on-spot gratification, serving as that immediate reward. This reward functions as this positive reinforcement, making the task that needs to be done significantly more appealing. And this strategy helped me in 3 ways. Number 1, time optimization. I saved time by combining 2 habits. It also enhanced habit adherence, so I was following it more closely. I started sticking to my cardio more because it allowed me to watch some anime while I was doing it, and it was my favorite thing to do. Number 3, it increased my enjoyment and productivity. The time on the treadmill went by faster and I wasn't getting bored. Some days I even just did more steps because I wanted to do it so badly. I wanted to watch the next episode, and that's the rule I set for myself. So I'm going to show you guys how you can temptation bundle. Another thing that we are going to talk about as well is a concept called habit stacking, right? It's mentioned in the Atomic Habits book. It's the practice of pairing a new habit with an existing one. It's a strategy that takes advantage of the habits that you're already doing consistently. For example, if you already have a cup of coffee in the morning, you can stack the new habit on top of that, like meditating 5 minutes right after you finish your coffee. And this is the existing habit, it's drinking coffee, and this serves as a cue or trigger for the new habit. What I want you to do is write a list of all the things you love doing. If it's listening to a podcast, if it's watching series, if it's reading a book, spending time on YouTube, if it's texting, and write an entire list of all the things that you love doing on one column. And then on the second column, write a list of all the things you have to do but don't want to do. Take a pen and try and connect them and see which habits you can stack together. For example, these are the ones I do myself. Again, when I am walking on my walking pad, I'm either watching a series. I've also made the second rule: if I'm going to be texting on my phone, I should be walking. So I get up to walk, and it's a habit now. If you just see that I'm on the phone, I have this inclination to stand up and walk. Another thing that I love doing is, if you want to spend time with your family, every Saturday I actually go over to my family's home. I want to spend time with them, but I also want to meal prep. So what do? I actually marinate and barbecue all my meats, all my proteins for the week while I'm hanging out with my family. I'm meal prepping and at the same time hanging out with my family. Building this routine is something that you're going to carry on for the rest of your life. So this way you make it a lifestyle and it's just not this chore that you hate doing. On the positive side of imitation, what I did is I wanted to pick up a new skill of self-defense. I wanted to be able to box, and I thought of it initially of like, you know what, I want to be able to protect myself, but I also want to be able to burn calories and do cardio. So I joined a boxing gym. Lo and behold, I loved going there and being in this community of people who like pushing themselves, who are all looking to strive to be better, and people who also want to be able to protect themselves, motivated me so much more to develop the habit of boxing. And look at my day one of boxing and look at the last time I was boxing. I've improved so much. So sometimes you can find a gym partner that you see in the gym that can help you train more. You can find someone who can do a sport, go hiking and walking with you. As the saying goes, you are the culmination of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So think of that when you're thinking about imitation. Habit number 4. This is so important. Standardize before you optimize. Habit stacking, as mentioned earlier, is a powerful tool, but before optimizing your habits, it's important to standardize them. Consistency is key. And once you've standardized the habit, then you can begin to optimize it for better results. This is something I found to be incredibly effective in my own life. So this is my advice. Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do 15,000 steps, if you see on your Apple Watch that over the last week you've done 3,000, then say, you know what, I'm just going to get to 8,000 and establish that habit. And then go for 9,000 the following week. And once this becomes an ingrained habit, then you can work your way up all the way to 15,000. If you're someone who's trying to get into shape, you could start with as simply as, I will no longer eat food on the road or at a fast food restaurant. And in one of my first transformations, I made the promise to myself that if I wanted a cheat meal, I would simply make it at home instead of going to that particular restaurant to get that. And here we go, we made the tacos, the Dr. Mike's tacos, the burgers, and that is a big piece of advice that I can give you is don't go too deep. Just start with the most simple things. Example, if you're struggling to go to the gym in the beginning, just tell yourself you're gonna go 3 times a week for 30 minutes. And maybe that's even difficult, just go 3 times a week for 20 minutes. And it's all about looking for a 1% incremental improvement each and every single day that will result in 100% new you in 100 days from today. So that is all you want to do. So before thinking of let me track my macros and just overwhelming yourself with all this knowledge, do the basics. And the same applies with everything in terms of sleeping, in terms of dieting, in terms of doing your cardio and training. Do the very easiest thing first. Do that consistently and then start adding different aspects onto it. This is why my program is a minimum of 4 months, because it's not about the specific diet that you follow, but it's really about ticking the very easy boxes day by day and finally seeing this massive change at the end of a long period like 4 months and even a year. Habit number 5, it is going to be your identity or your clarity of why. These are the parallels I found in these 2 books, which was so profound for me. And these are the conversations I have with all my clients. So James Clear, in his book, he has 3 circles of behavioral change. And the deeper you go into the circle, the more profound the change will be. The outermost circle speaks about the outcome, the weight goal you're gonna get, the amount of money you're going to make, that specific outcome as a result of your actions. The second innermost circle is the process, the things you need to do each and every single day to receive that outcome. And the most important is actually the identity. Similarly, starting from the inner circle and in start with why is going to be your why. Why are you doing this? And if you can see, you can connect the identity and the why are both the same thing. The second circle is going to be your how, which is also very similar to your process. And then finally, the outermost circle is your what, which is equivalent to the outcome. And what the books both show, where true, profound, and real change happens is in the innermost circles, your why or the identity. So at this point, it's almost like looking into the mirror and looking at the other self, the version that you do want to become, and deciding what identity you want to create for yourself. So for example, if you say, I am a person who walks a lot and hits 10,000 steps every day, when you start doing that each and every single day, you may not be doing it now, but saying, hey, I am a person who walks 10,000 steps. Each and every single day you hit 10,000 steps is a vote for that new character trait. So with these new identity pieces that you're adding onto yourself, it will develop you and change you fundamentally. So you need to start associating a new look for yourself, being able to develop the other self, the version 2.0 of you. So write down all the things you want to be on a paper and then execute them each and every single day. And every time you do it, that is a vote for the new identity you want to create. So as you guys know, I used to be fat and now I'm in shape. And that has been my identity ever since. I say I'm going to be a person who walks 15,000 steps. And I've given a vote for that, and I've given myself the confidence to do so. And very similarly with James Clear with his why, what is the core fundamental reason you're doing this transformation in the beginning? And I had this conversation with Sandra, I had this conversation with Dawn, I had this conversation with each one of my clients, and all of them were profound internal changes they wanted to make. They said, hey Mike, I want to be around for my grandkids longer. Hey Mike, I want to be a better husband or wife for my partner. Hey Mike, I want to be XYZ. So it is important that you look internally and decide why you're doing what you're doing in a very deep level, and also what identity do you want to create for yourself. And if you can write these down clearly, I am someone who trains 3 times a week. I am someone who is healthy. I'm someone who walks 10,000 steps. I'm someone who sleeps 7 hours because I want to be healthier. I want to live longer. I want to have the respect of my colleagues. Whatever that is, it will be the catalyst to your transformation. And those are the 5 habits that got my clients lean. Once they changed those things fundamentally, it didn't matter if it happened in 4 months, in a year. Once they instilled these 5 habits, getting in shape was never a question again. The only matter that they had to fight against was time. But I'll leave the video here. Let me know how you guys utilize these 5 habits. If it's true, do you agree with me or not? And if it is, it's up to you to share your story. Inspire the person watching this video. They're gonna go into the comments and say, hey, is this stuff true? Is it not? And I would love to hear your story. So share it with me in the comment section down below. I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, by the way, these are 2 amazing videos on habits as well. YouTube thinks you should watch it. Cheers.